I have a lot more to show for it, a lot more understanding, a lot more knowledge, a lot more opportunity. It's going to catapult me in my growth and in my career opportunities.
Hello, everybody. Walters954 here, and we have Derek, who is a member of Cloud Code Academy. So we brought him along to hear about his experiences in Cloud Code Academy and how his career has been progressing inside of Salesforce. So, Derek, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about your title, where you work at, and all of that good stuff.
Hello, my name is Derek Hansen. I've been working in Salesforce for just about 3 years now. I'm working at a company here in Atlanta called Gas South, which is a natural gas company. Originally started as junior admin, very quickly kind of became the only admin. Quickly needed to be able to troubleshoot a lot of this stuff in our system, and Apex was a lot of it. So as I've been trying to skill up, got an opportunity to join the Cloud Code Academy to try to figure out what was going on in all that code. And so since then, graduated and have moved on to a junior developer role within Gas South.
Awesome. That's really great to hear. And I know multiple people have different paths to where they want to go in Salesforce. And either it's learning development to become a developer or just learning enough development to be proficient enough and solve problems in your company, but maybe you don't want to write code all day. And even like on the consultant or project management side, you just want to be able to communicate more successfully. So for you, though, it sounds like one of your goals was to move into a more developer role, or can you kind of talk about your goals, either joining the program and if it led you down different paths that you weren't thinking about?
For sure, yeah. So it kind of goes a little back before I even got into Salesforce, and I'll try to keep it brief. I was working in a different industry entirely, and it was a not super user-friendly, family-friendly sort of environment. And so I had been looking for an escape route, kind of a way to get out. And a friend was like, you should do Salesforce. You would pick it up really easy. There's lots of opportunities. You would be great at it. And so I was able to very fortunately make the transition over. Prior to that, I had been looking into coding. We used a little bit of Python on the job that I was on, and I loved it. Like Python was just so flexible and quick, and for a dummy like me to pick up, it was really, really easy. One thing that I didn't want to do with code was just sit at a computer for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, just writing code, writing code, writing code. So after I transition into Salesforce, I thought like working with customers and being able to talk to people and try to figure out what it is they're looking for exactly, what exactly they need was also a part that I liked. And so one of my goals was to get into the coding side, which was a goal prior to Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
But once transitioned into Salesforce was also be able to talk to stakeholders and talk to people at the company and try to decipher and interpret their needs and then confidently be able to present answers to them.
I think that's really cool. You have flexibility, right? You're describing, oh, I don't want to be coding for 10, 12 hours a day, like describing one of my first jobs.
Yeah.
But like that can be a little bit of a grind.
Yeah.
So having a career in Salesforce and these types of tech opportunities, you can potentially like stretch different types of career muscles, right? You can talk to stakeholders, you can do diagramming, you do have the opportunity to build out code. So there's a lot of different career avenues when you start working in the Salesforce ecosystem and seeing what else is out there, which is really cool. And I love that from your goals, right? Like you knew the things that you like and then built your career around that.
Mhm.
Can you kind of tell me about your current role being this kind of junior developer and how learning different aspects of code has really helped you kind of push into that role?
Learning the code has just it's like learning a foreign language. Apex, especially for me, for some reason, I really struggled to kind of get it to click. And so going through the course was awesome because the way that it was built foundationally and kind of building up small chunks so that by the end of it, the big chunks that we were seeing, we could kind of break down. Helped me immensely in the org that I'm currently in, being able to go through, look at the code, troubleshoot it, see exactly what it was doing, and where it was maybe not written in the best way, or
Mhm.
maybe where I could improve it. All that to say, we are currently in the middle of transitioning to a new environment. We're having a consulting company build out this new product for us, Energy and Utilities Cloud.
Cool.
and being able to do code reviews that they send us, different pull requests that we can go through and kind of look at and mark up and ask questions about, being able to see the way that consultants kind of approach it and the way that they kind of work has been awesome. It's been great to be able to understand what they're doing and have thoughts about it, be able to note it or ask questions.
You're right in the mix there when you're getting code and other metadata and materials that
Mhm.
different people are bringing in, and now you're able to, impart your knowledge on that and give some examples of how you want the org to be built out, and of course learn from the things that they are creating as
Yep.
well. So that's really cool. For your like career growth or career trajectory, where do you kind of see yourself? What do you want to do with these new development skills that you have?
Development and Salesforce both, there's so much to do. There's so much to learn. You're never done learning. Right now, my focus is to, especially once we go live with the new org, is to be able to dive in, be able to help, be able to start building, be able to start making an impact on the system. Me personally, I just want to kind of know everything and learn everything. So I'm looking for a chance to be able to flex what I've learned and actually put it into
Mhm.
practice.
And then speaking of like things that you've learned, did you have a favorite like topic, subject? I know some people love integration, some people love LWCs, the async stuff. Was there like a particular part that you really enjoyed?
I'll tell you, I don't know that I enjoyed it, but I actually
Uh-huh.
enjoyed it more than I expected to. Was test classes, was writing tests.
Oh, you
Um,
and Kayla are in good company with those test classes,
I
right?
don't know that I love it, but you hear developers just kind of grumble and groan about
Hmm.
having to write tests. And so I was kind of not really looking forward to that one. But when we got to that one, I was like, oh, I get it. Like, I get it now.
Yeah.
This is actually great. Like, you actually get to tell the code like what you're looking for and what you're specifically wanting to error out on or how you want it to work. Like, you actually get to tell the system,
Hmm.
real life example, this is kind of how it should work, and let it go. And so testing for me was a surprise that I actually enjoyed it as much as I did.
I think they're super important. I am somebody that is kind of just, I got to write some tests, but I think some of the new tools nowadays, right, like ChatGPT and some of those AI tools can help
Yeah.
you generate tests faster. I think that was the part for me. Is like it kind of took a while to get all the test data and put it
Yeah.
all together, but once it's there, I know that it's useful, and you have to make those meaningful tests, or else it's going to bite you in the butt later on.
Yep. I'll tell you on that same topic a little briefly was learning about test data factories.
Hmm.
Was
Hmm.
actually something that I was able to implement in our current org and kind of push the consulting company to do, because they created one, but they still were creating a bunch of tests.
Test
Um,
data and stuff like that.
yeah, and we were able to kind of push them like, hey, can't you just push this all into the data factory? Like, it all seems like it should go. And
Hmm.
so they are starting to move stuff in there. And so knowing about that was fantastic.
Yeah, you got to hold their feet to the fire, because not saying like I was a consultant for a while, right? You are under a time crunch generally, so you sometimes will have to, I'll say, kind of cut corners, right? But just do things faster, and maybe not set it up in the best way. So
Yep.
when you're there and you understand, these things, you're able to call them out on it or let them know how you want it to be built out for your org
Yep.
standards, and they can take it from there,
Yep.
right? And it does happen. Like, even I'll say, like, when I'm not consulting, right, and say, oh, I got to get this project out, let me just shove all this data in, and stuff like that, where you have to really take the time to build out good software. And that's really what it is, right? It's time and the experience to know like what you want and how to set
Yeah.
it up. I want to kind of switch gears to some concerns that you had before joining the program, right? So, a lot of what I hear from like people, and a lot of my job is just talking to people, seeing if they're interested, how they can learn code, different resources they can use. And I hear a lot of concerns from people about like different things. They think they're not smart enough, or they think they're too old, which is one that I get all the time, which I think is crazy. Development as a discipline is like way older than me in general, and there are older people that can code me into a box. So it's just like I like to dispel that myth. I'll get off my soapbox with that one. But yeah, I'm curious on your end, like if you had any concerns joining the program and like were those met and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that you said, you know, I'm kind of a dummy. Am I smart enough to be able to get this? What happens if I don't? The cost is not nothing if you're paying
Mhm.
for it out of pocket. So it's kind of a gamble to take on yourself. Fortunately, I was able to my company pay for it. Once I graduated, the promotion and raise that I got more than covered the costs. Totally worth it. So the concerns that you say, am I too old? Am I going to pick this up? Am I too dumb? Valid concerns. The way that the course is laid out, the way that the instructors are there, the way that the groups are there, everybody's so helpful. I remember it was probably around week 7 or 8. I got a flu. I was just down for a week. And so I missed my homework that week and was really sweating it and stressing. I didn't want to fall behind. And everyone at the academy was just like, don't worry about it. Don't rush. Like, it's fine. Go at your own pace. Even though the pre work seems a lot, the courses seem like a lot, it's digestible. And the pace is set up to push you. It's set up to actually, to go, but it's not super stressful. And the way that the courses are set up, week by week to just kind of foundationally build on something, that there's plenty of time to build those blocks. Being too old, you're going to be that age anyway. You might as well, like, it's been a year now, I could have not taken the class and I would still be in the same situation I was before. Now I'm a year older and I have a lot more to show for it, a lot more understanding, a lot more knowledge, a lot more opportunity. There's nothing negative that I have to say about the class, and I encourage everybody. I'll be a big proponent of it, a big advocate of the class to just go for it.
Oh, I really love hearing that. And I think, it's one thing for me to say it, right? Like I'm somebody who has built the program out and I've seen a lot of people come through and find success from it. But I think that other people find a lot of value hearing people like you and everybody that we talk to hear about the program because it is, not the owner or not the person leading it talking about it. Put
Yeah.
themselves in your shoes and kind of see themselves as, maybe I've been an admin for 2 3 years now and I'm looking for that next jump, right? They can see themselves in your shoes. So I really appreciate you, talking about that kind of stuff and shedding a light, right? It's not easy, right? Nobody's going to
It's
hand
not
you
easy.
anything on a silver spoon, but if you put in the work, you might be at a really good spot a year from now, just like Derek, as you're, seeing things progress. So what did you think about the instructors? So you're in cohort 2, you had Chase, who is you love him or you hate him. There's no in between. So like what did you think of the instructors and any advice that you would have for somebody like looking to join the program and get into development?
Just like any university, you're going to have some professors that are softies and sweethearts. And you're going to have some that are going to come in and kind of rule you with an iron fist. Either way, I think you are going to learn the same thing and you are
Mhm.
going to come away from it. Chase might be a different beast than Warren, but the knowledge that everybody has, that everybody brings, is invaluable. You're going to learn a ton. And it's not like it's one or the other. There's a lot of crisscross, and you talk to a lot of people. You talk to all the instructors and all the people in all the core cohorts. There's a ton to learn. Everybody's got something to teach you. I don't think anybody should be scared of the teachers in any way. They're all there to help you. They really are. They're taking their time out of their jobs to be there for you. They'll make time for you. They want you to learn it. They're invested.
Yeah. And then any advice that you might have, somebody looking to join.
Just do it. Like, absolutely do it. It is, as we mentioned previously, difficult. It is tough. Anything worth doing is going to be
For
challenging.
sure. Paid the big bucks, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. No reservations when I pulled the trigger, and it kicked my butt. It was very difficult, but I learned a lot, and it's going to catapult me in my growth and in my career opportunities.
Cool. All righty, Derek. Well, it's been great having you on here. I'd love to see, alumni and people who have gone through the program, hear from them and the success stories that they have. You're definitely one of our success stories, and hearing how you've moved into this full-time dev type of role and you're really having that ownership inside of your company is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for your future. I'll always be in Slack watching and commenting and
Yep.
catching up with you. And I think that people I can definitely see themselves in your type of situation or in a similar situation that you're in right now and kind of see the value of learning this development stuff. And what I kind of want to point out too is like, you don't have to learn it through cloud code, but I think that it's important to learn it in general, right? If you're really trying to boost your career, get to that next level, stay relevant, it's going to really help out as Salesforce continues to get more and more complex. Systems need integrating. It kind of takes a lot to really understand everything that is going on inside of these complex systems. So it'll really start differentiating yourself in this competitive market that we're in.
And also, if we have a second to
Yeah.
piggyback on that, I also would like to add to that that while Salesforce definitely has tried to perfect their no code features, and they're great, some of them are really awesome, and the stuff that they're kind of building out with flows, even some OmniScript stuff that you can do kind of without code. At some point, the larger the company that you go for, or the more enterprise level, there's just going to be something that doesn't fit your business needs, and
Hmm.
code is going to be the answer. You might as well go ahead and get on top of it. And especially if you want to rise to those levels, I'm not saying like a FANG company, any larger organization, if you really want to open up those opportunities to you, code is going to be a necessity.
I completely agree. Like I've been doing this for 10 years and Salesforce has been pushing no code, flows, process builders, and I'm still writing code pretty much every day. So
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
that anecdote with whatever you want. But yeah, I think it's important to learn it. Any final shout outs that you have? This is your time. You could plug anything.
Yeah, just a huge shout out to all the people in the Slack channels. It doesn't matter what hour you are awake. If you are hitting an issue, if you are hitting an error in your code or in your test classes or something, somebody is on Slack and they will respond to try to help you out. The community that's there is passionate about it. They love it and they really enjoy seeing people succeed. And it's a great thing. It's a really great thing that you built. You're going to help a lot of people.
Cool, cool. Well, thanks, Derek. I appreciate you as always. And if anybody has any questions, thoughts, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. There's going to be links down below for all of that stuff. I'm Walters954. He's Derek, and we believe in you.